I'd just like to say that I like being called sister much more than professor. And I've continually said that if keeping my job means that I have to make any compromises in the liberation struggle in this country, then I will gladly leave my job. This is my position. Now, there has been a lot of debate in the left sector of the anti-war movement as to what the orientation of that movement ought to be. And I think that there are two main issues at hand. One group of people feels that that movement, the anti-war movement, ought to be a single issue movement, the cessation of the war in Vietnam. They don't want to relate it to any other forms or kinds of oppression taking place in this country. There is another group of people who say that we have to make those connections. We have to talk about what's happening in Vietnam as being a symptom of something that is happening all over the world, as something that is happening here in this country.
See, we have not only the right to speak out, we have an obligation. We must be involved. We must fight racism in all of its manifestations. We must also look truthfully at this land of the free and home of the brave. And remember that there is another side to that land. A side better known to the rest of the world than most of America. There is another America, and it is an ugly one. It is an America whose basic foreign policy and whose basic domestic policy can be only called genocide. When we look at the America that brought slaves here once in ships named Jesus, we charge genocide. When we look at the America which seized land from Mexico and practically destroyed the American Indians, we charge genocide. When we look at all the acts of racist exploitation, whether it was for this nation has committed, whether it was in the name of manifest destiny or anti-communism, we charge genocide.
It would be easy to put the blame on the generals and the police and the growers and the bosses, or to place the blame on the violence on television or in the movies or the war toys. But we are also responsible. Husbands prove to their children that might makes right every time they beat their own wives. We honor violence. In sports, if not in the home. We insist in our own way of life. We grab for security. We trample over other people. It is something more basic that we are responsible for. We have not taught our children to sacrifice for justice.